Welcome to Top 1260 KTRC, the Humanity Behind the Vanity. I'm Dr. Daniel Ronel, a plastic surgeon, and I'm here with my wife, Betsy Ronel, and two very special guests.
Very
if you're watching on YouTube, we're all crowded in together.
Yes.
I've got Dr. Rita Dodge, who's a family practitioner in town, and Georgia Mariol, who is the founder of Tomasita's, and she's involved with her son's new restaurant,
Trisco's.
And bringing healthy food to the restaurant scene in Santa Fe. So we wanted to talk about...
She's also heavily involved in the farmers market, the new farmers market.
Yes, she helped raise the funds for the new
Yeah.
farmers market.
That's why she's here, dude.
Right.
Okay.
So, healthy eating is part of any kind of medicine, and so that's what we want to talk about.
And beauty regimen. I mean,
Right.
the inside out. That's where we start.
Mhm.
So let's
Okay,
talk.
Rita, tell us about...
Okay, Rita, you introduce it all. Introduce your relationship with Georgia, and then how you decided to choose Rita and her husband, Paul, and their son, Diego, who I love, are very, very healthy eaters, and they're very involved in it for so many different reasons, not just their simple health and well-being, for the carbon footprint, for all of that. So I want Rita to talk about how she made that choice, how she came to it, how she continues to live it, and how she's gotten involved with the farmers market, and then Georgia can talk about all of her terrific accomplishments with the farmers market. Okay.
Well, thanks. You did such a great job of saying everything I practically don't have to say. It's an excellent summary there. Yeah, as a family physician, I've always been interested in health and wellness and prevention. So I much prefer taking care of my patients in a way that keeps them healthy than instead of taking care of them when they're sick.
Right.
And one of our connections is that Georgia is my patient.
Oh.
And our other
And
connection.
I'm glad to.
She's allowed to say that.
Yeah,
Lucky
that's
if
right.
you
That's
were
not a
really
pitch for
done.
me. My practice is actually closed, but no.
Yeah.
But really, and then also our connection to the farmers market, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I've always been interested in food. I've always been very conscious about my eating. I've always focused on vegetables and good healthy food and less processed food.
Yeah.
But I read a book called Animal Vegetable Miracle by Barbara Kingsolver.
I've heard of that book, yes.
And it was about her family's attempt to eat only from local sources, nothing else, for an entire year.
When did she write this book? When was this?
Like 2007.
Okay. I was
Uh-huh.
wondering if it was like the 90s.
No,
which
no,
would be really
a
hard
couple
to-
years
okay.
maybe.
Okay.
And I was so inspired by her attempts to do that and what she brought up in terms of the benefits to the family and to the environment.
Yeah.
And then it sort of like led me down a path. I read Michael Pollan's two books, Omnivore's Dilemma and In Defense of
You gave me
Food.
that book, and listening to it on tape.
On tape.
Yes.
Oh, that's what Paul gave you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
Our attempt to convert more people there. I mean, it was so powerful because Barbara Kingsolver's book is a personal memoir of their experience, which was really powerful. But Michael Pollan's books are journalism, and it's looking into the food industry and looking into eating and really determining, wow, how did we get to this place of eating so much processed food, so much food that comes from corporate food companies that are not really giving you the food as it came from the ground. It's
Right.
very manipulated by the time it gets to us.
Absolutely.
And then that affects our health. And I see more and more obesity and diabetes in my practice, heart disease, high blood pressure, etc.
In young people?
In all ages.
Okay,
I mean, it's
yeah.
really sad the number of 10 and 12-year-old patients I have who are obese and are moving toward diabetes. And it is a family thing, and unfortunately it's a cultural progression of growing up with that and
Right.
not knowing anything else.
Right.
And our culture has changed its eating so much in the last 50 to 100 years compared to what it was for 10,000 years before that.
Yes. Right.
And so I started to realize that, well, you know what, why did we go to this point of eating things from so far away? They talk about the common statistic that most food travels 1,500 miles before it gets to your
I've heard
American
that.
plate.
Yeah.
It all comes from corn, apparently.
And it all comes from corn or
Yeah.
soy, and I was just blown away by it and had never really thought about it. I thought my tofu from far away was good, healthy food,
Right.
and it was healthy, but it had a carbon footprint,
Right.
and food that has not been freshly picked from the ground loses nutrition.
Absolutely.
And we'd always gone to the farmer's market, but not faithfully, not all the time.
Okay.
And we started to think, wait a minute, how could we change what we're doing and try to eat things that just really have been picked? And as a physician, and looking into the food science of it, food does change dramatically from the time it's picked to the time you eat it. So if it's been a day versus 3 weeks, you're getting a lot of different nutrition coming to your body.
Yes. And it's a very hard thing to change a lifestyle.
Extremely hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lifetime of habits.
Yes.
And when I talk to my patients and say, you should really try eating some kale from the farmer's market, and most people look at me and go, what?
Wow.
Right,
It
right,
tasted
I know.
really good.
It actually
It's
tastes good,
fantastic.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And people just don't know.
No.
Right.
It's just a lack of knowledge.
Right.
And so in my practice, I'm constantly trying to educate people about that, tell people to go to the farmer's market, get people involved in CSAs, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture,
Ah.
where you put money forward at the beginning of a season to a farm,
Oh,
and then you
nice.
get a weekly delivery
Oh,
of
yes,
food.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a couple of businesses that do that here, I don't remember their names, but
Yeah,
Los
there's-
Poblanos one of them?
Los Poblanos
Yeah.
is one of the biggest ones.
Okay, yeah.
But they do draw from a little bit farther away.
Oh, do they?
They're not
Okay.
as local,
Okay,
but they're certainly much, much better than just buying from the store.
do you know off the top of your head what some of the companies are that do that, local businesses?
Beneficial Farms also does it. They're also not purely local, but also an excellent organization. And then there's lots of small farms that do it. There's a farm called Rio Reba Farms. It's
Okay.
3 farms, and we're involved in that one this year.
Oh, excellent,
And there's a bunch of little ones,
Okay.
and they're all across the state as well, actually.
excellent.
Um,
Is there a website to find that out on?
You know, there's a publication called Edible Santa Fe.
Yes,
And Edible Santa Fe has a website as well, which I think is ediblesantafe.com, but
Okay.
certainly if you Google it, you can find it.
okay,
And they have a list of all of the farmers markets and all of the CSAs in the state.
excellent.
So it's really, and they're free at the farmers market to
Right.
get one of the publications that come out every season.
Yes,
Spring, winter,
and
fall,
at Whole
summer.
Foods also,
Yeah,
for free,
yeah,
yeah, that's excellent,
yeah.
okay, good, alright.
So it's a wonderful thing, and so as I was saying, Georgia and I know each other through my practice, but we always get to talking, as I do with all my patients, about food, and then she's like, well, and of course I'm raising money for the farmer's market. This was like a year ago or so when it was still in process,
Right,
and so I was amazed that she was doing so much and that her brother was also involved as one of the
It's
executive directors.
my son.
That was your son that did
Oh,
that?
that's
She was on the- she
Okay.
was
And
on
you know,
board.
let me just tell you where I was with it. I started my restaurant 30 years ago.
Tomasita's.
Tomasita's
Right.
restaurant. And you know, like I knew from nothing as far as healthy eating goes and all. I remember how we grew up, which is very interesting. When I grew up, we didn't have partially hydrogenated oil.
right,
And a Coke was in a small bottle.
right,
Right.
Now it's
thin,
a
small
Now it's a
bottle.
big, humongous 48 ounce
That's
and,
right.
and free refills and all
Right.
that.
Very
Well, we
true.
would have been in horror if we saw that. And
Right.
also, food was healthier when I was growing up. And, but it's like evolved into this big corporate type of industry. And what's really interesting is my son and daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law is a faithful follower of healthy eating, and my 2 granddaughters are very healthy. She is very particular about what they eat. In fact, neither of them have ever eaten at a fast food restaurant,
Wow.
Really?
which is pretty
That's
amazing
huge.
considering one is, one time my other son took the oldest one to McDonald's as a joke,
Oh,
and we have a photograph.
oh, that's funny.
I hate to interrupt, but we have to wrap up this segment.
We're gonna come right back.
Okay.
Come right
right.
back and go on with you.
This is
You're
an awesome
listening
show.
to Talk 1260 KTRC, the Humanity Behind the Vanity. We'll be right back.